Stranger Things is different from everything else on TV right now. It gives us everything we could want. Winona Ryder, a little sci-fi, a little horror, some buddy adventure, and a whole lot of 80's nostalgia. What are the biggest 80's moments of the show so far? Today we're talking about the 9 moments Stranger Things encapsulated 80's nostalgia. Stay tuned. First we have walkie-talkies and landline phones. The walkie-talkies in Stranger Things are probably one of the most visually 80's identifying factors of the show. Walkie-talkies are a huge moment of nostalgia in a pre-cell phone era, and the kids having to rely on them to get in touch with each other during moments of crisis adds to the tension and overall mood. The models Will and his friends use early in the show are mostly the realistic TRC-214 model, a walkie-talkie that would cost about $70 in today's money. The adult counterpart to this is the landline phone, which we see most prominently displayed in Joyce's totally 80's wall-mounted setup, the point at which she's able to contact Will when he is in the Upside Down. At number 2, doing research at the library. Nowadays, even young kids have cell phones, and when they need to do research, they typically turn to the internet. However, on the show, we're taken back to the days where most people learned obscure information by word of mouth or by going to the library. In Season 1, we see Nancy researching demogorgons, and in Season 2, we see Dustin pulling a number of titles on reptiles. If you're an 80's baby, this will really bring you back. Next up, the iconic 80's hairstyles. Winona Ryder's shaggy, layered, mullet-style haircut was the coolest look to have for women in the 80's. Popular musicians and models all had some variation of this haircut, and Winona Ryder's hair for the show seems to be modeled after Pat Benatar's Crimes of Passion album cover. Now we have the 80's posters we spotted in the background. We see a poster for the 1981 movie The Evil Dead, a Blondie poster, and a poster for the 1982 movie The Dark Crystal. Bonus foreshadowing that we see the poster for The Dark Crystal before we find out about Eleven's origins. The movie The Dark Crystal was about an alien from a faraway planet. Sound familiar? Next at number 5, the giant 80's glasses. Throughout the show, we see children wearing the types of glasses that one would refer to as spectacles. The style of corrective lenses, much like gawky braces, were much more common in the 80's before disposable contact lenses became mainstream. Up next, children biking around without their parents. The 80's were a different time culturally, and it was common for kids to have much more freedom outdoors than they do now. We see the group biking everywhere they go, and the parents seem to have no idea where they are. In Season 2, Dustin's trying to find his friends, and in a comedic moment, he tells the Wheeler parents that there are no help at all. Next, the iconic 80's soundtrack. Stranger Things soundtrack really brings us back. There are some iconic scenes set to 80's music that will have you feeling nostalgic even if you weren't alive yet. One song, The Clash's 1982 single Should I Stay or Should I Go, plays several times in the show. First, we hear it in a flashback scene when Jonathan puts it on to try to distract Will from their parents' argument. Then the song plays again on the radio at Joyce's house while we begin to see that everything is not exactly normal. Season 2 begins with Devo's Whip It playing during an arcade scene. Another great soundtrack moment is at the end of Season 1 when the Bangles cover of Hazy Shade of Winter plays. And of course we hear Duran Duran's Girls on Film playing at a house party and Cyndi Lauper's Time After Time playing at a school dance. Now at number 8, Dungeons and Dragons. One iconic 80's trope that will come up in Season 4 is the fantasy role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons. The game first came out in the 1970s but gained popularity in the 1980s. We've seen that Dustin's a member of the Hellfire Club, and in Season 4 we'll see new character Eddie Munson, played by Joseph Quinn, as the leader of the Hellfire Club, the Dungeons & Dragons Club at Hawkins High School. The first episode of Season 4 will be aptly titled Hellfire Club, so we know that this 80's staple will continue to have a prominent place on the show. Lastly, all the references to E.T. The original Alien Living Amongst Humans movie E.T. came out in 1982, and we're given plenty of obvious references throughout the show that let us know the creators definitely had this movie in mind when they were writing the plot. We have Eleven's obsession with the TV, something she shares in common with the lovable extraterrestrial. Then we have the scene where Eleven emerges in a frilly dress and blonde wig, reminiscent of the dress-up scene we all remember from E.T. Some scenes like the kids riding their bikes and a boy running at night even line up visually with the scenes from E.T. down to the same camera angles. So now, let's cover what's happening with Season 4. Stranger Things is famous for the cliffhanger endings to episodes and seasons, leaving us with unanswered questions and on the edge of our seats. Season 4 certainly has a lot to answer for after the Season 3 finale. The show's creators have said that they want to make sure that by the end, everything's pulled together no matter how elaborate the plot becomes, and that they already have decided on an ending. They're not making it up as they go along, and allegedly, in Season 4, we'll be seeing an explosive reveal about Hopper's origins after we left him plotting his escape from a prison in Russia. Gaten Matarazzo, who plays Dustin, has said that he thinks Season 4 is the scariest so far. One popular fan theory about Season 4 is that it may involve time travel. The show's based on real-life conspiracy theory, the Montauk Project, which allegedly involved the same concept. Another fan theory, the fact that Hopper is alive and is in fact the American in the Russian prison, has been confirmed by the show's creators to be true. They've told us Hopper is not dead, and Season 4 will reveal details that ties everything together. Stranger Things Season 4 will air on Netflix in the spring of summer or spring of 2022, without an exact air date announced quite yet. Fans expect it will come out around spring break, as in previous seasons the show is always released around the time of the events that happened in that season, like the 4th of July or Halloween. The upcoming season was actually delayed due to the coronavirus pandemic, originally slated to come out in 2021. Production was forced to stop due to the strict COVID regulations that required cast and crew to limit the number of people who were on set at one time. This threw a major wrench into the schedule, as the show's creators have said this was the most ambitious season yet as far as filming goes. However, one unexpected benefit did arise because of the pandemic. With the extra downtime from filming, the writers were able to finish writing the entire script in advance of filming. Typically, when filming a series, the writing team will be working while filming is happening, racing to finish the script by the deadline and changing things a bit as they go. Season 4 was reportedly filmed in several locations that may give us hints about where the story is going to take place. Looks like the majority of the filming took place in Georgia, Netflix's studios in New Mexico, and Vilnius, Lithuania. Georgia is reportedly where a lot of the Hawkins, Indiana scenes have been filmed, but fans have been speculating that the production at the New Mexico location may have something to do with an extraterrestrial history, so maybe we'll see a tie into Roswell in Season 4. The show's creators have said that the 4th season will take place between Russia, Hawkins, Indiana, and an unknown location. Finally, will there be a spin-off series? Although Stranger Things has already been on for 3 glorious seasons, a Netflix executive recently referred to the show as a franchise being born at a media conference, which has fans speculating that there may be a spin-off in the works. But how much truth is there to this? Well, there has long been a rumor that there will be a spin-off show focusing on Eleven, played by Millie Bobby Brown. But Netflix has not yet confirmed, so we can't know for sure. In Season 2, Eleven finds out that she has a sister, Callie, who also managed to escape from Dr. Brenner's lab. The spin-off might see Eleven tracking down more of her siblings outside of Hawkins. If you're eager to get more of Stranger Things in the meantime, you could try reading some of the books or graphic novels that have been put out to accompany the series. Maya Hawke's Robin even has her own prequel podcast, Rebel Robin, Surviving Hawkins. The podcast series has 6 episodes. So there you have it. That's everything we know about Stranger Things and all of our favorite moments of 80s nostalgia. Thanks for watching.